Good morning. A row has erupted after it emerged a landmark law to toughen penalties for sex crimes is being used by lawyers to reduce clients' existing sentences. The Only Yes Means Yes law was prompted by the notorious 2016 Wolfpack case, when 5 men raped an 18-year-old woman in Pamplona. The new law took effect last month, but according to local media, at least 4 sex offenders can now leave jail early as a result of the change. Lawyers have also won sentence reductions for convicted abusers in at least 8 other cases. This is because the criminal code states that when a new law is introduced, new sentences contained within it can be retroactively applied to convicted criminals if they stand to benefit. So in some cases, lawyers argued that the new law established lower minimum sentences and that the original sentences should therefore be reduced. The Equality Minister, Irene Montero, who steered the new law into effect, defended it by saying machismo makes some judges apply the law incorrectly. Her comment provoked uproar among the legal profession and calls from the opposition party for her to resign. The row is particularly uncomfortable for the government of Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, as gender equality has been a major policy focus since it took power in early 2020. Although the majority of domestic and travel COVID-19 restrictions were lifted before the summer, one of the only rules that still remains in place is the obligation of wearing a face mask on public transport. This includes aeroplanes, buses, trains, taxis and some ferries, but mask wearing isn't compulsory at airports, ports or bus and train stations. For officials of the flagship airline Iberia, the time has come for this rule to be lifted. The company's corporate director stressed that he wasn't questioning the view of health experts, but couldn't understand why almost all other countries ditched the mask rule for public transport long ago. We should take off our masks because it's affecting tourism and business now, he said. As things stand, the general rule is that cabin crew from all airlines have to tell passengers on planes bound to Spain that they have to wear masks. If, on the other hand, the aircraft is flying out of Spain, the mask rules of the country which the aircraft is flying to apply, which in almost all cases means face coverings aren't required. And a union representing shop assistants at the fashion retailer Zara have called a 2-day strike over pay next week in the 44 stores in the company's hometown of A Coruña. The strike, called by the regional union, the CIG, will take place during the Black Friday sales on November 24th and 25th. The CIG represents most of the 1,000 shop assistants who work for Zara in A Coruña. The company had increased an initial pay offer during the negotiations, but it was deemed insufficient by the union. Inditex proposed a 10% increase for next year, plus smaller yearly increments until 2025. The CIG, which is also planning protests near Inditex's global headquarters a few miles outside A Coruña, wants an increase of €500 a month by 2025. That's the latest from TRE. I'm Bob James.